All right, guys, welcome back. Automotive Inc. here. Um, Here's where we're going today with the General, the 7.3 Godzilla. I'm heading off to sell this truck back to the dealer at a loss to myself. Right now, I don't want to trade anything. I can't get my hands on a 23 7.3 Godzilla, which I contemplated that. There are 068s anywhere within 700 miles that aren't a single cab work truck, which is a bummer. I thought about that one. And the truck itself still has a lot of rough idling now. The idling's getting worse. I've mentioned in other videos the fuel economy is down. And interest rates blow right now. So with all due respect to what we're trying to accomplish with the channel, this truck I will not keep because I don't want to pull with it and put myself in a bad position. So I'm just being smart about that and everything. Now, somebody the other day said, I had said that I think overall the 7.3 is a good truck. I like Fords. We drive a ton of Fords. And somebody says, well, I can't believe that you would have issues with this and go back and buy another Ford. All right, well, I have to be objective here, guys. You can't be subjective. If you're just a Chevy dude, and you end up with a turd Chevy, are you telling me you'll never buy another Chevy? Because I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's the same if you're a Ford guy or a Ram guy. When it comes to heavy duty trucks, I don't care if you're a Toyota guy or a Titan guy. Those trucks, even in the Titan XD, they can't do what a 3/4 ton and 1 ton truck does. As great as they might be and as much people might love them, they are not heavy duty. And you'll pay just as much for one of those half tons as you will a 3/4 ton truck right now, especially from like Chevy or I've seen some Fords actually coming down a little bit in price, and some of the 22 Rams are still on sale. You're going to pay more for a half-ton truck that can't do what a 3/4 ton does and be at its max. So when it comes to heavy-duty trucks, guys, we have Ford, we have Chevy, and we have Ram, okay? You have 3 choices in the U.S. market for heavy-duty trucks, unless you're going to go to, light-duty, or what people think are heavy duty trucks in the pickup truck market, before you go to a medium duty or a heavy duty truck. So if you're going to write off a manufacturer because you had issues, when literally they sell more trucks to companies and enterprise rental and all of that stuff, and those trucks just keep on rolling. So every manufacturer is going to have its bugs they got to work out and everything like that. So if you're telling me that you're going to write off a manufacturer because you had a bad experience, good luck, man, because if you ever have a problem with your truck, then what are you going to say then? So with respect to this, I think the Godzilla is a damn good motor. And I think the 6.8 is going to be a good motor. And I think that it's just the way the world turns at some point. This one had issues. It's going to go away. I don't want to wait for it to explode because I'm paying interest on these trucks so I can have them for the channel. It makes no sense to cause damage or put myself in a bad position. That being said, if a manufacturer has an issue, then it falls back after the sales part to your service experience. Now, unfortunately, I was very forthcoming with the first dealer. They couldn't replicate it. The techs couldn't hear it. They couldn't find a check engine code, so to them it was no issue. The second dealer, I was, again, very forthcoming with what was going on, and the fact that I took it to another dealer, and they also said, well, if you've already taken it to another dealer, there's nothing we can do about it, and everything like that. Take it to the last dealer, and the last dealer basically said, well, we don't want to do an oil analysis on it. We don't see a check engine code. We don't see any pending code. So, just monitor it and stuff like that. So basically it's the same outcome. It's the same. Ford has and Chevy has and everybody has a list of things. And if a consumer comes in and complains about this is how they handle it. And if it doesn't fit those criteria, it's like a yes, no. Did it do this? Yes. Go to step 4. No. Go to step 2. Did it do this? No. Okay, cool. Then there's no problem. That's how it is, every manufacturer. So, yeah, I would buy another Ford, guys. To be honest with you, I'd have to get like 7 Fords in a row, or 7 Chevys in a row, or 7 Dodges in a row that were complete trash before I was like, okay, something's going on here. Because I've had so much luck with a lot of different trucks. And again, most of our trucks at work are at Fords, or at work are Fords, and they do just fine. So again, to answer that question with that person the other day, yes. But they said, well, Jesus, how could you trust a person that says, because I'm not so close-minded anymore that I'm going to say, well, no, this 7.3 is just completely trash. So the other 7 million of these that they made are complete trash. Give me a break. There's so many watchers that have responded that they've had such great luck with this. It's just the shits that this happens. So whatever, man. I really don't care. And, again, if you're that close-minded, then stay with your brand that you're loyal to. And I hope you never have problems, because, man, that's going to be a heartbreaker for you, because you're going to be like, now what do I do? So at the end of the day, guys, 7.3 Godzilla was a great experience. I don't anticipate you're going to have huge issues with the 7.3 Godzilla if you have one. There are issues with this truck. The Chevy supposedly had engine oil burning. I'm at 2,500 miles. I've had zero oil consumption. So again, a few here, a few there, whatnot. But I've had a good experience with this truck. I think it is a great truck. I would highly recommend it if Ford is something that you like. After you go test drive one and sit in one and go sit in a Chevy and test drive one, there are going to be certain aspects of these trucks that you're going to like, and they're going to fit your Goldilocks ass better than the other. And I'm all about that. And I don't think that you need to go out and be concerned about this. And if you buy an earlier generation, say 20 or 21 or even a 22, and you're concerned about that, try and get the dealer to sell you a sweet powertrain warranty. Just make sure you know all the exclusions to that. Make sure there's no restrictions or clauses where coverage wouldn't be matched if something was to happen, and I think you'll be just fine. Again, you will be subjected to the service departments, and I won't say that any of the Ford service departments, they weren't jerks, they weren't anything like that. They just didn't dig deeper, but that's probably the way it just works when it comes to how Ford wants to address the issues. Now, they're never going to probably admit that they had this lifter issue, but there's enough consumers out there that have complained about it that it's about the 2% that everybody was thinking it was of the trucks sold or having that issue. But, at the end of the day, that means about 98% of the other trucks are doing just fine and towing loads and hauling ass and doing what they do, and people are enjoying them. So, yeah, the General will be missed. I really haven't had any other problems. Let's go over the issues that I had. I had obviously the engine issue, so not a big deal. And what I mean by big deal is eventually if I just kept driving it, it would do its thing and then they would replace the engine, whatever. That's the biggest thing. But overall, the truck hasn't left me on the side of the road. This headlight has a seal in it, or a gasket around the thing that's causing it to pool water in it when it gets a lot of rain. If I had a lot of rain, this thing fogs up. You can hardly see through it. You can actually see down in there, maybe some like hard water rings and stuff like that. And now they're starting to get debris in there. So that is an issue that most people say they have weep holes or stuff like that. These headlights specifically, I haven't seen a single weep hole. I know that there are some of those in there, but that is way too much water to be getting in there, especially because you have a matching side over there and it's not happening. All right, secondly, I had a sync issue, only meaning that I didn't remember to turn on the Wi-Fi after something happened and I had to reset. Oh, that's right, we changed our Wi-Fi password, I think, if I remember right. And so what happened was the over-air issues couldn't be downloaded to the truck until I updated that. And that is my fault, not the truck's fault, and everything like that. Another thing I mentioned, I will tell you this again, is if you get the chrome wheels or any wheels, make sure you keep them clean. The brake dust gets hot on here, but these chrome PVD aluminum polished wheels are already fairly pocked up at 6,300 miles. So just keep that in mind. And I wash the truck regularly, so just really keep that off of those rims if you want to keep them looking nice. All right, now that we're in the truck, let's go over what I got for fuel economy again. Let's go over my idle hours and total engine hours. Now, I told people before that my intent was to idle this thing, not excessively necessarily, but if you're sitting outside your kids and it's blizzarding, you want to stay warm. So a diesel, yeah, you can leave it running, but it's not necessarily good if you're not towing a lot. So you need to shut it down. But if you decide to run a diesel or idle it, you're going to need to clean the DPF out. But on the gas engine, Ford touted the 7.3 Godzilla as a commercial alternative to the diesel, where contractors and so and everybody else can go sit and idle these trucks because they need the power to the plug-ins and stuff in here. They need to run their office in here. So they touted it. You can idle it. Now, people have said that the variable displacement oil pump is a big issue with the lifter issue. I don't necessarily believe that because this is nothing new to the auto market. They have these oil pumps everywhere. So I don't think it's I don't think that that's the reason why. I think they had a metal issue with the lifters and stuff like that, and that's what caused the issue in the earlier engines. I don't think that the engine itself is starving for oil, but I did idle it like I would normally idle any engine. Like the V10s at work, sometimes that engine is on all day, and it's driving, then sitting for 25 minutes here, then sitting 30 minutes here. That's what I did with this one. But I don't think that is the issue. But let's take a look at the overall numbers here. All right, so there's my trip one. It's averaging about 13.9 miles a gallon. So let's go down here. When I bought the truck, I leave trip two on there. 196 total hours, 19 minutes, 63.76 on my miles. So you can see I'm about 3 miles off. And I've averaged across the board 13.1 miles to the gallon. I think that's pretty good for a heavy duty truck. All right, so you can't really see it on the tack, but I can feel the truck kind of shaking. And then this up here is not where my oil pressure used to be when it's sitting there idling. It used to kind of be down halfway through the oil can. So I know the oil pressure's up, which is usually something saying, hey, something's gonna go on with the engine. Total engine hours, 195 hours. Idle hours, 42. Now you may not think that that's a lot of hours, but you know, that is some pretty good idling. I mean, if you idle it an hour a day, it's 42 days worth of idling. So I mean, it's just one of those things. Overall, guys, I like the Godzilla. I love a lot about the Ford. Fit and finish, it's done really well, even an XLT trim. There's only one rattle in the dash. It's there every morning until it warms up. But, things, contract and expand with cold, and it's been rainy and everything like that. So I think you're going to have those type of growing pains. But overall, the truck itself has done very, very well. I haven't had any issues whatsoever with anything else. And it's been a good truck. So it is one of those things where, I'm going to take a hit, but I talked with the dealer and they're going to do their thing. I don't really care. It's not going to be my problem anymore. But guys, we are going to keep running the content, and we are going to work the L8T Chevy all summer until I can get my hands on an L5P Gen 2 diesel. That doesn't mean I'm getting rid of the Chevy gas. That just means that's probably going to be the truck I'm adding to the channel because of all the new changes to it. If you watch the new videos I put out on the Ram has been fantastic to drive. It has been a great place to be, and there are some great deals where I could have traded the General in on that. But at this point, again, Ram hasn't really updated the crew cab, and I want a mega cab for the room, but I don't want the mega cab because it loses capacity. So it's probably gonna be the new Chevy because that one has changed a lot, and I think that's gonna be a game changer when it comes to emissions control. So as for the channel, that's where it's at. The General's heading out. The dealer's gonna do what they do with it, and then whoever gets it, hopefully it'll be a great truck for them. The dealer have went through it, and if not, my conscience is clear. I couldn't sell this truck outright to anybody the way it is. But down there in the corner is the button you want to smash so you can subscribe to the channel. You know when I got new content. Feel free to ask tons of questions, guys. And like I said, I will see you on the next one.